So today I want to go through some of the more basic or easier tricks that I learned on Vert when I first ever tried skating this ramp. I'm not an experienced Vert skater now or anything like that, but there is tricks that I learned when I first came onto this ramp which I think are very easy to learn and very easy for someone who has never skated Vert to learn. These tricks can also be done on smaller transition, they don't have to be done on the Vert ramp. A few of these tricks are easier on Vert the higher up you go, which is why I'm going to do these tricks on the Vert ramp and not a small mini ramp or a half pipe. So the first tricks that I'm going to go through are the Ollie tricks. So there's a few different Ollies which you can do on Vert which are incredibly easy because the steeper the transition goes on Vert, the easier it is to pop. So the first one I'm going to go for, like I said, is the Fakie Ollie. Start low within the transition and eventually work your way up. The higher up you go, it is easier to do a Fakie Ollie and to pop the board, get it off the ground, get lift. But the way that I like to think of it is the higher up you go, the easier it gets, but the risk factor obviously slightly increases because you're going to be landing with more speed and you're going to be landing on a steeper transition. Okay, so the next trick is a Nollie 180. These are a trick that I think are quite easy, even if you're not that comfortable with Nollie or switch. And I think that's because when you do the Nollie 180, you don't have to worry about actually doing a proper Nollie with your back foot sliding back and twisting your body. When you're doing this trick on a Vert ramp, all you have to worry about is popping the nose correctly, getting a nice pop, and then turning your body and jumping with it. And it's the same with the Fakie Ollie, whereas the higher you go, the easier this trick is to do. When you're doing it on tighter transition or even Vert, it's all in the front foot. Pretty much the whole trick is popping the board on the nose and you don't have to worry about much else. Just make sure you are opening your body up and turning once you do pop it. You're aiming to do a 90-degree turn and land on your back wheels and do the remaining 90 as a pivot. Okay, so the last Ollie trick that I'm going to show you is the half cab or the Fakie back 180 Ollie. This is probably the harder out of the two because I feel that when you do the Fakie back 180, getting the pivot is a lot less natural than doing it as a Nollie 180. But still, it's an easy trick to do, something you can do in small transition if you're going to try that. Again, aim for a 90, a backside 90 Ollie, don't go for the 180 at first. Okay, so the next tricks that I'm going to suggest are both pretty much just power slides. So going up the ramp forwards, power sliding across the transition and then reverting your whole body back into the ramp. I think it's just called a power slide. I don't think it has a special name or anything. This is the trick you're going to need hard wheels for. You won't be able to do this at all with soft wheels. You'll stick and then fall off. But once you get a feel for the transition, it's a very easy trick to do. You're going to go up at an angle and you're going to have to lean back and let your board start slipping across the transition. I think this is a trick that's hard to explain because it's all about like the feel, like feeling the board and just like, kind of like going with how it naturally feels. If you know how to power slide on flat ground, you can definitely learn this one on the Vert ramp by yourself. For the next power slide trick, this is going to be a power slide to Fakie. I think it's a scarier trick and maybe a harder trick to commit to than the last power slide because when you finish the power slide, you have to commit to then coming down Fakie and your board most of the time isn't that straight just to come down Fakie normally. It doesn't feel that natural to just power slide and come back down backwards. When you're going up for the power slide, keep your weight back and in the ramp, like lean back. When you're doing the power slide, your body needs to already be kind of like naturally going back down Fakie as you're doing the power slide. So again, this is another one where you're going to have to trial and error it, let it come naturally to you. Tight trucks are good for this as well because when you come down Fakie, you are going to have speed wobbles the first few times you learn this or try it. And again, hard wheels are better for this. Any power slides on the Vert ramp, you're going to need hard wheels. Soft wheels just don't work when you're trying to do power slides or reverts really on a Vert ramp. Okay, so for the last trick that I'm going to say, it's a frontside slash grind. This is technically a frontside 5-0, but a lot of people refer it to as a slash grind. You're going to go up and you're going to frontside pivot and slash your back trucks on the coping. You're not going to do a stall or you're not going to hold it on the coping. You're going to get a real quick grind. If you can do a frontside pivot on the vert ramp and you can do it high on the vert, then you can do a frontside slash grind. It's going to be no problem. The scariest part I think to this trick is just really pushing yourself to go to the highest possible point on the vert ramp. But if you're comfortable with that, then there's no reason why you can't do a slash grind. It's no different to the frontside pivot. It feels the exact same. You don't really feel the grind. It's a very simple trick and the easiest grind trick you'll ever learn on vert. So that's it for the tricks today. Hopefully I have given you an idea of maybe a new trick that you can try, or it's maybe inspired you a little bit to try something on the vert ramp. Like I said, I'm no expert at vert, I can't do that much, but these tricks are the first things that I learned and that I still do now, and I really enjoy doing them. They are fun tricks. If you think they look enjoyable, give them a try. Something I probably should have mentioned at the start of the video as well is that if you are going to try these tricks, definitely put pads on and a helmet, because the smallest bail on the vert ramp can really hurt, especially if you hit your head. You're going to have a lot of momentum, so it's really worth just wearing pads. I think it's stupid to not wear pads on vert. Don't cheap out on pads, because again, that is a very bad idea when you're skating a ramp of this size. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.